most part, we don't think much of a clingy partner. Like we just think maybe they're a little insecure, maybe they're not sure of the relationship, whatever. And we all have moments, let's face it, where we feel a little clingy, or certain people can make us feel like they're not as attached or not as into us. But when you're with someone who has a toxic clinginess, that's something entirely different. That's when you put clinginess on steroids, and it's usually indicative of something deeper going on. How do you know? There's a very fine line, because some people that are clingy go in periods. They're really good for a while, and then they'll get excessively clingy. Then they kind of get better and go along. That's not what I would consider toxic. Toxic is when it's all the time. And they've made a relationship out of loving you with this toxic clinginess. I'm going to go through 5 ways that are pretty significant that you would know, especially if these things are all the time. The first thing is, they start neglecting their friends and resenting you working or having friends too. Now, once in a while, you may say to your partner, I miss you. I need more attention. But if you're like this way all the time and you're willing to lose touch with other people for this relationship, that's significant. And also, what clingy does when it's toxic is it presents a feeling that the other partner should feel guilty or shame. And if you're the partner and you're feeling guilty and shame because of your not devoting 24/7 to your partner, that would be significant as far as toxic clinginess. Secondly, they start monitoring your social media activity, and they do their own too. And I don't mean just monitoring it. They oftentimes are not as good at talking about it. So they'll keep up with you on social media, and then they'll bring this back and either act differently, maybe a little bit more avoidant or pouty, or they will tell you, they'll confront you with it and say, well, I noticed this. I noticed you said this. What did you mean by that? When somebody starts using what you put on social media against you or as defense, like they are no longer able to talk to you directly, they need to go through social media to address what's going on with you, that's a problem. It's a big problem in communicating within the relationship, but toxic clinginess can cause that because you don't want to get into conversations with someone that you know is totally going to cling on tighter. They're irrationally jealous. All of us are jealous at times. I don't care who you are. I don't care how well attached you are, how beautiful, how handsome, doesn't matter. What really matters is when your jealousy consumes you. You are jealous of everything. And when I say everything, I'm talking about the mail person or just utility people coming to the door. You worry what your partner would say about them. That's a sign when it has gone way too far. And they message you excessively throughout the day. If your partner is so insecure, needing so much reassurance that they need to message you all day, and I'm not talking about 3 to 5 times a day, I'm talking about constant every day, that is toxic clinginess. And it's not to be confused with the normal clinginess we all sometimes feel. And they seem to make the relationship speed up, or they want commitment soon. They're trying to build a fortress around the two of you in their mind, and they do not want any inside influence. So it behooves them, if they go quickly, if they get you attached and get this first committed part done. And you sometimes may think, well, maybe if I committed or I gave them more, like I showed them that I was more into the relationship, that would help. Oftentimes that's not enough for a toxic, clingy person. They cannot get away from it. If you have this in your relationship, I'm going to suggest that you get counseling. The person who is suffering from toxic clinginess needs it because there's deeper issues, I assure you, underneath. And I think it would benefit if the partner So the person who had it, the identified clinger, would get the therapy, and then the support partner would go also for a joint session with them. That would be ideal, because knowing how to handle it and what's going on into your partner's head who has this toxic clinginess is going to help you with your patience, with your response, and most importantly, not enable it to go further.